All right, gonna play another game, 5Q. I like playing these instructional games. I do actually play like games on my other account at 6D. I'll probably broadcast one of those sooner or later. But playing these instructional games is kind of fun. Yeah, see this move, like, quite honestly, that move, not a lot of higher level players actually do. When you get past 1 or 2 Dan, no one actually does this. He does get the corner here, but I've completely destroyed his Moyo. So it's totally worth it for me here. If he doesn't do anything, yeah. I was like, if he doesn't do anything, he's going to be in trouble. There's always the cut later, but I'll address that in a while. I've took in his corner. He doesn't have really that many points, so we're just going to go do this. The point of this that's okay. Okay, I can't have him do that. Can I actually? No, I can't, because he can do that. Never freaking mind, then. That doesn't have a ladder anymore. I don't think that's smart, man. It's just not smart. If I do this, it's still Sente, so yeah, it's just not smart. It's really not smart. Hmm. Okay, what's he trying to do here? I mean, you would go back, but you wouldn't do that. And that's also the wrong way to cut. Dang, man, that's... I mean, it doesn't really matter, but... Yeah, but he's kind of dead, so... If he does that, I have to do this. If he does that, he's alive. Well, if he does that, I don't really have to answer, I guess. Because he doesn't have enough liberties here. Just gonna go ahead and do this. Get my way out. I think he forgot about something. I think he actually forgot about something. Because I can just take this. And he's still dead. That does absolutely nothing. Thought I was going to do something like that. But what is he going to do if I do this? Can he kill me here? Probably not. I don't think he can do anything. He's so deep in the hole that he just can't do anything. And he might have just given this up as well. I mean, this is useless. I don't even think he has enough liberties. Even if I just do this and go down and give up some of this corner, I've killed so much here.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Forget this time. I'm just going to give him that. He's gonna, like, this guy doesn't make any sense in what he's actually doing. You know, like, that's useless. That's utterly useless. And is dead anyways. What's the point? You gotta stick to a goal, man. You gotta, like, live one of the pieces. That's literally useless because he's one short. There's nothing you can do about this. Why? That's completely useless. Okay, he resigned. So he made a lot of mistakes here, obviously. You need to stick ahead with like one goal. you definitely need to stick with one goal. Like, okay, this here, me doing this, basically, like, I mean, going this way is already bad enough. Like, letting me connect and then do this, you get this, right? But you've lost this, and quite possibly this as well. And you don't have that much territory here, so that's bad enough. But the thing is, like, you know, doing this and then not going here, that's even worse because it's hard. I mean, yeah, that's even worse because you might get this to live down here, but you still lost this. And now you're losing this as well. So that's an even greater loss. Like if you've gone with that kind of plan, if you've gone with this kind of plan, you have to keep just going. I mean, he lost anyways, but that's the thing. Like if you decide to make this trade, you got to make this trade right now. You can't stop on that trade like one move in. That's going to be completely disastrous. Here, obviously, like this obviously is not going to work. At this point, the cut's not going to work. And I mean, I think this move was probably really aggressive. Like this move I did was probably overly aggressive. And there might have been, there's probably something that he could do with this. There might have been something he could have done with this, honestly. I think I beat him regardless. Yeah, I can't do that. Well, no, yeah, I can't do that. I think I beat him regardless, so this was basically a bad setup. But there could have been like, I think there could have been like maybe something here. I'm not really sure. Yeah, there's things he could have done. Something like that, right? But I mean, he's still not alive here. But with all the bumping and pushing, I mean, this is... but with all the bumping and pushing, maybe he could have done something. I'm not really sure. Probably not, though. So that was pretty much screwed. But this is not an extremely... See... You can't let someone get the rap head on you, even if you think this is big, right? Even if you think this is big, you can't let someone just like you. There's a lot of stones here already. And, you know, I would have to spend an extra move to solidify just this corner. So doing this and letting me do this, I mean, you just can't do that. Yes, I have a lot of weaknesses here, but you really can't do that. You really can't let me do that. I mean, you really can't. You really can't let me just like get this move. That move is a little bit too killer. It wraps your whole thing in. Unless you can calculate this out perfectly, that I can't kill you, you really can't do this. He obviously has this move here and then Hane out. That he should have done that probably in the first place. I would have just gone around. Honestly, he probably could have lived, but then he would have had to sacrifice this. So like that was kind of my goal, to force him to like basically Hane out here, and then maybe get this group to be alive in here, and then kill this group here. That was kind of my goal. But, I mean, it worked out better than I expected, obviously, because he didn't do the right plays. And, like, various variations, you have to calculate this out. I mean, this is pretty obvious. This one here is pretty obvious. He doesn't have to do that. Like, that one's pretty obvious. And then, you know, that's going to be much, much more effective because you have the eye in there and you have a lot more liberties. And plus, like, then this thing out here is pretty weak. But then, like I said, I probably would have just, you know, taken this group instead because that group's not looking too healthy right now. And the other thing is, like, this is Sente. This is actually Sente, so he has to do this. Because if he doesn't do that, and I do this, he can't... Oh, actually, no, never mind. It's not Sente. Never mind, it's not Sente. Never mind. I forgot about that. But, you know, like, here, you know, that cut would be a lot more effective. Because now I would have to play something down here on the like. And, you know, this would be a lot more troublesome for me. if I actually had to play it this way. And plus he has more liberties in there, so he has more to work with. But realistically, like trading that move for that move, not a good thing. You definitely need to like run this out right now. Like keep your head up. Because remember, like if you do this, like my group here is still not settled. So I would probably try to attack this group. And there's no way I would do something like this right now, because if you do this, then I feel a lot of pressure. And now, like, even though this group is thick over here, you can kind of threaten it as well. So there's no way I would have played that move. So that's a bad move. That's just like not recognizing. That's basically ignoring kind of like a critical situation. That's basically just ignoring a critical situation. That's not very good. I thought this was kind of weird because like my intention of just doing this was essentially like just getting this essentially. That was my intention. And obviously that's not good for him. So my intention of doing this, originally you don't want to do this. You really don't want, that's really bad for you. But my intention of actually doing this was to force him to go here so I can actually take that, because yes, you have the one stone here and it basically settles this group, but there's no potential over here for more points. And I'm not, like, this group isn't settled, but it's not really that weak either. So I would much rather get the points over here. Obviously, he didn't want to take that. But that's kind of like the route he probably should have taken. Because this one, like that one, this just does not favor him at all. This does not favor him at all. Because he has to do that, and then I can do that. He might have been able to do something like this. But there's always problems with like this if you do that. But then again, you could come out here, but I have ways of dealing with this. So not exactly the best outcome for him either. So like I feel like the best thing to do is take this. I feel like the best thing to do almost for him is just to get this. I mean, yeah, it is. I think, in my opinion, it's my advantage, definitely. But you still get to settle this group here, and now it's your Sente to do, whatever over here. Not exactly sure what the best move to invade that is. Probably like something around here. I might have just been wanting to take this, honestly. I might have just wanted to take this at that point. That wouldn't be good for me, actually. Yeah, this is probably better. I'd probably be willing to take this at this point. Just work off the influence there. And I think this game would be playable, definitely playable at this point. I would prefer white at this point in the game, but that game would definitely be playable. The other thing here is that he obviously doesn't. Most people will actually block this way, and this is definitely better for white. This Joseki is definitely better for white, because remember what he had before. He had this. He spent several moves to make this Moyo, and now in exchange for this corner, which isn't 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe like 15 points at the most, he basically gave up the entire Moyo. And now his stones aren't that strong anymore. So this is definitely better for white. And this is one of the reasons that when you get above 1 or 2 Dan, no one actually plays this pincer move. There is obviously the other variation that I actually show people a lot, where you block on this side, and you do this, and you basically cut here. And, like something like this isn't bad for white either, because you get the corner, but once again, like this stone is separated and white is very thick here. So This is one reason why people don't really generally play this move here. It's not great for black. Sometimes you would do this, but I think with a stone here, I don't think I would do that. So yeah, like the clamp move generally people don't really people don't pincer. People don't really generally don't pincer. People generally just take the jump, especially if there's a stone here, and do this because this actually lines up pretty well. Now you have this nice bottom. So I think that's the first mistake he made. Obviously the ones afterwards were a lot more egregious. But he started, like, I had an advantage going from here on out, essentially. And obviously, like, this part is different. This is actually different. If he does this, I would have gladly made the exchange. Here, because now this cuts off this stone, and the potential for territory here is way, way greater than what it was here. So I would have actually made that exchange pretty gladly. Now I'm going to, like, maybe attack his stone over here. So I would have made that exchange. So yeah, that's the difference between this corner and this corner. It's like the relative position of where the other stones are. So yeah, but the critical, he definitely made a lot of critical errors. He definitely made a lot of critical errors. With the worst one being, I think the worst one being this move I mentioned right here. Basically ignoring this and letting me get this critical move. Because you might be able to live in here, but the problem is, like, even if you do, like, you're essentially, even if you do, it's Gote. And even if you do, like, you're essentially sacrificing, maybe this group in here. And now, like, because I'm pretty thick, it's going to be a little bit harder. I mean, you wouldn't connect on that, but it's essentially going to be a little bit harder for this group to actually live. So that's where he went wrong. And yeah, like, making this move doesn't, as I've said before, making this move doesn't necessarily mean I have to kill these stones. These stones are pretty much in danger. And as a side note, if both this group and this group is alive, and this group's already alive, if this group comes alive, and then he Ataris these two, you can just let him have it, because that's not very big once this is alive. If this isn't alive, it's big, but once it's alive, it's not very big. So the whole point is to, like, get advantages when he does stuff like this. Like when he does this, you don't cut. You definitely do not cut. You just take advantages and stuff like this. And essentially you just connect like this. And he has to actually take another move to actually live. And then you have free reign to somehow attack this group over here and not make it live. And it's not that hard I don't think it's that hard to kill this group, actually. Maybe if he does something like this, but even here, it's pretty hard to make it alive. I wouldn't do that, actually. I'd probably just connect. But even here, it's actually kind of hard to make it alive, because, if you do something like this, I can just do this first to kill this eye. Or if you do this, that's always an option. And then, I would just force it. And even if you did this, like, that's going to be hard for you to fight. Or, even, I might not even do that. I might just do this, Because you can't come out here, and even if you do this, like, I don't exactly know what you're going to do. So definitely not a good thing there. So, like, the purpose of flying, the purpose of trading, the purpose, like, of doing this move is not necessarily kill this. It could be to kill this as well, by taking advantage of this group's weakness. So basically, by doing this stone, you either sacrifice this group or you sacrifice this group, and they're both fairly heavy. So you can't do that. So this was probably one of the losing moves for him in this game. Well, hope you learned something. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button, and I will see you guys next time.